Hey everyone, Mherex here, bringing you another video. This one's going to be on my Kamala. Um, I thought I would run him mainly because I got the gruesome guys played off of the prize wall, which I think a lot of people got. If you don't have Kamala, it's still a solid plate. Probably the second best would be like Triple Blue Tiffany, and then like probably Tamatonga. A couple places you could potentially use it. I don't. It's mainly, mostly, though, in my opinion, like really, really impactful on Kamala. It's okay other places, but he's a really fun card. It's nice to be able to use people move damage. I know some of you may not have him yet, may not get him for a while, but he's worth putting on your radar, especially with hype. So that's the one thing, guys, I do like about not getting 7-star. Most likely at 7-star, typically when a new rarity comes out, all of your guys are obsolete, or the vast bulk of them, very quickly. Because they scale the health and stuff so much that your damage just isn't good enough, and then we start the process all over of getting more and more power creep cards, right? So most of the time, move damage people tend to really suffer on a rarity increase. So the nice thing is that hype isn't going to make your move damage people suffer. You will need, of course, to get hype for them eventually, but they won't become all of a sudden unusable if they're usable now, right? So that's the good news about it. Um, so my Kamala, he's got takedown threes. He's got a really good, metal, bunch of blue sub, move damage substat here, move damage substat here, move damage substat here. So really about as much as I can have on him for move damage. I lucky I have 150% move damage strap for him, and then of course the plate. Whenever you activate a blue move, increase your blue move damage by 100% for 2 turns. Entourage for him is pretty straightforward, but the moves are 2 6MP blues, throat chop, 6MP, 500k damage, increase your blue move damage by 100%. Then deal 500k damage, increase your blue MP by 5. That lets you get loaded to the finisher, so you can use your move damage trainer and Pat Patterson. Overhead chop, 1 million damage and increase your purple MP by 10. It's also a reversal. The opponent generated at least 1 leech gem, then deal 4 million damage. Then you got the finisher, 5 million damage and force your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn. If it's a technician, first you deal 2 million damage and force your opponent to skip their turn for 1 turn. So against a tech, it's like a 2-turn stun with double damage sort of thing. In here you can see the trainers Lawler. We got Pat Patterson, and Gooker. If you don't have Gooker, you use blue finisher damage here. And I'm using Ilya because it's blue overall. There is lots of times when you can 2-click with him, in which case the finisher trainer, double finisher trainer would be slightly better if you have like Rex Regum. And blue finisher, I want to say, is maybe Elias. Not Elias, I mean. I'm trying to think right off. Let me check who it is for you guys. Look real quick. And I thought, yeah, it's not Elias. So I thought I would do some showdown matches, kind of show you guys some stuff with him, and then I'll do the tour match. But Cena here has got the big boy medals, right? So we at least have that. It's not all the way max, so it's only 115% reduction, but there are some big boy medals on Cena. He's also a tech, so we can kind of see the hardcore there. And I'll do like I figured I'd do my 3 showdown matches, look for some matchups for him, and that way you guys can kind of see his move damage like in showdown. And then I'll go on a tour and show you it there. I thought that might be a little bit more interesting because he's so straightforward. So before you hit the buff, I'm doing 33 million, and then if it's attack, another 13 million, right? So you have some options. The buff here is going to do 6 mil damage, right? And now a lot of times people would hit this move, which is going to do another 15 mil, or we could just go right to the finisher, which is already doing 76 million. And because it's a tech, it's another 30 million. So he's a proper 2-click here. And in a lot of cases, this 15 mil is kind of backup if you need it. So we're doing 6 mil, 15 mil, 21 mil total, and then another 76 million. So that's like what? 76 and 21 is 87 total on all 3 moves if you want. But still, I mean, in this case, there's no reason not. to just hit this and save the time, right? So that's one of the great things about Kamala being move damage, no interaction with the board, so it's very fast. And you have the option to 2-click, and if they have more health, then you can just add the second click in there, which increases your overall damage even more because the gruesome guy's plate's going off, right? So I really, really like that about him. You have the 2-move option, which is faster, and then if it's not enough damage, you can go right to your 3-move. So let's go against a higher hype opponent here, Ozzy. Hopefully he has the medals. If he has the medals, we'll go against him. Maybe even if he doesn't, because he's higher hype. He doesn't have the good move damage medal, but he is higher hype, so we'll just go against him anyway. You know, I hear people say all the time you need higher hype than someone to win. You don't at all. So we're going to see a reduction on Ozzy. This is going to, because he's 1 hype higher. So this is saying 4, but he has less move defense than the last guy because he doesn't have big boy medals. So let's see if we actually do hit the 8 million total. There's the 4. And then another 4, so 8. It looks like it did. He's at 90 million health though, right? But you can see because he doesn't have the reduction, we're showing 96. However, I think with hype, I think we're not going to hit the full 96, but let's experiment. Yeah, you can see it was reduced to 77, which is about right. But then it showed us having a 96 million pin, so... But we obviously didn't pin for 96 million because he still had 16 million health left. So the hype reduction in difference is about a good... I mean, what would that have been? 20,000? Yeah, a little bit more than 20% there. With him having the higher stats, but anyway, he's still pretty easy win. Let's see, let's find someone with good medals again. It doesn't really matter their hype, or I don't really care about this. Is good one. Let's see what Razar has here. If he has the big medals, we'll play him. Nope, he doesn't really matter who. Let's just look for big medals. I don't care about their Noto. Nope. Oh, El Grande should have bigger medals, one would think, right? Oh, it's only a 6-star bronze. Probably not. Yeah, 100, he does have the big medals. All right, let's do it. Immunity from being stunned as well. So even because of the health, I just want to show you the moves against the medals, right? It's not going to matter that he's 6-star bronze. But yeah, I enjoy Kamala quite a bit. I think he's fun. 2.9 and 2.9. Okay. I don't know why that's hitting for so much more there. But yeah, and then the finisher is just 68 million after that. So, but if you want to do the buff with the plate again, you can hit another move. And now we should be at like, yeah, now we're at like 78 million. So in total, he can do a lot of damage really quickly, even with 3 moves, right? So he's a lot of fun. He's definitely someone I think is worth looking forward to. If you have the right stuff, obviously, you know, move damage medals, move damage strap. It doesn't need to be a 150. You don't need Gooker. He will still hit hard. Which I'll go on a tour now, and I'll take Gooker off after I run one with Gooker. And just run the finisher. Trainer, Elias. Oh, it's this one. I'm not awake. And let's go against Rock, since he's not a technician. Yeah, he's just really slick, really smooth, especially once you add his plate and other stuff. And then the buff goes, so it's actually it's actually a lot, right? And yeah, I don't know what's going on here, but it's a lot. Oh, he's not the high level one, that's why. There's 106 million, so it's It's pretty nasty, honestly. It's really, really good move damage. I've actually heard people say his move damage doesn't do enough. And I mean, once you get the stuff, and this is without, there's a moment now that has 100% move damage to him too. We don't know how we're going to get it yet. Yeah, I was on the wrong node. Sorry. He's going to hit super hard. That guy was obviously had no high tier metals because it was the lower nodes. So that's why it was so big. But yeah, here you go. So 3-5, and that's the hype kicking in. That's why we're hitting so hard. We did 12 million there because we're one hype higher, but it would have been the 3-5, then the buff goes in, and then this hits 8, so it's actually like 11 million on that. And then this does 16, so that's like 27 million. Followed by the finisher of 91 million, so that's what, like 118 million or something like that on the 3 moves, which is going to get it done. It does throw a stun in for 1 turn, not enough to refill the finisher next turn, but it's just there. So yeah, he hits hard. I don't really know what else there's to say. He's been very impressive. I really, really enjoyed him this way. He has other movesets that are good too. This is just my preference because almost no one is move damage on my roster. So it's really fun to be able to use them. As for how much difference Gooker makes, he definitely makes some, but it's not like huge. You could use Sammy in place of Ilya if you didn't have Ilya, for example, and you wouldn't lose much more. There's plenty of options. And Gooker's not the end of the world. But yeah, I'd really like to get the moment with him on it, simply because, you know, then his move damage is going to hit even harder. So now we're doing 3-2, and then this actually ends up being more than 3-2 because the buff kicks in, so it's more like, you know, well, I'll tell you what it is right after the buff kicks in. So it was 3-2 and 7-4, so it's 10.6 million. This goes down to 14 instead of 16, so we're doing 26, right? That's the difference between Gooker and not. I think it was like 16, or no, we're doing like 24 million, not 26, something like that. And then it's 89 here instead of the 91 it was, right? But it's not really a thing. And all of these you could 2-click just as easily, which, yeah. It's only if they have like more than like 80 million health that you have to use the 3-click, so. But no interaction with the board is really nice for saving time. That saves quite a lot of time, so it's pretty much just the animations, right? You can just go boop, which is a fast animation as well, and boop. And 79 million on top of the... Yeah, you're good up to like 85 million probably health, actually, to drain them completely. So yeah, Kamala's awesome. I'm just trying to do different stuff sometimes with the showdown, just show you guys them in different situations when I can. I don't know if you guys like that or not, if it was worth it. But let me know what you think in the comments. And I know like Kamala is still rare, but just so kind of the idea for me anyway with this stuff is you guys can kind of see how I like to play him, and not necessarily might not be your favorite build or the best build. But the things I like about Kamala with the move damage build is there's no fight for the straps, there's no fight for the plates, there's no fight for the medals, right? Because I have no one doing the same kind of stuff. No fight really for the trainers. Lawler, obviously, there's a fight, but all the other trainers aren't in high demand for me because I'm not using move damage people. And kind of the idea here is you guys, you know, let's say there's a prize wall, right? And you have shards available to you, and you can start chasing Kamala, or you could start chasing someone else. You can kind of see what parts you have. There's a good chance you already have the plate if you took it from this last prize wall. So now you can decide, like, okay, Kamala is more important to me to chase first over XYZ character, right? So that's kind of the idea with these. You can see what you have potentially to run them, if they're going to be optimal for you, and then you can decide like, okay, this guy is really worth me running down and chasing. And the good news with hype and not 7-star, right, is you know his move damage isn't going to be obsolete tomorrow, right? So that's what I think I haven't heard people talk much about hype being here instead of it being 7-star. Is that so many? Yes, you do need to get hype. That's true, but not you're not always fighting overhyped people, and with 7-star, it's very likely people that aren't like completely OP, like, and I mean completely OP, they generally don't transition well to the next tier. Typically, 90% or more of your roster that you were using becomes obsolete overnight or very shortly. Like once people start getting the new cards, which doesn't take very long, couple 3 months into 7-star, you're not using hardly anyone you've built. It's likely what would have happened, and what's based on what's happened in the past. So I do think that's a nice thing. Like you can actually plan for getting Kamala, and he's probably not going to be too power crept by then. There is stuff like the moments that add health though that can make it much harder, right? As we saw from the ladies feud, once you start giving showboats 100% extra health on moments and stuff, they can get up there to 150, 160 million health running an offensive build, and that's harder to chew through. So it's not like a complete everybody's always going to be fine, but it's definitely much more likely that you're going to get longer shelf life out of superstars being relevant, right? You still do need to get the hype uh, eventually, but at least the superstar is going to be relevant longer than they would have been otherwise. At least that's how I see it. But anyway, let me know what you think in the comments, and remember to like, subscribe, and share because that really helps me out. Other than that, guys, thanks for watching. Good luck out there. And have a great Sunday, guys. Hope you enjoy your weekend, huh? Hope it's been good.